like to congratulate the Sun Devils on an unbelievably hard-fought game. Two teams out there that absolutely gave everything they had. And when that happens, it doesn't always look clean. And there are mistakes and things that you wish you could correct and coach, but it's because everybody's going 100 miles an hour and giving everything they've got out of their emotional tank. And we just happen to be the team with one more point. And we're thrilled about that. And we're going to enjoy it. And then we're going to go back to work because we found out a formula that we need to be successful, and that isn't to get involved in the extraneous stuff. It's to get involved in the brass tacks of what football is all about, which is hard work, which is fundamentals, which is concentration, which is teamwork, and all the other great things that go along with this great game. And we just got to focus on Utah now. But I'm really excited about the way the kids fought tonight, and for the second time in a row, and gives us a chance to make next week's game an important game too. So we're on to that one. But thrilled with the resolve that we showed. Questions?
Rick, in the last couple of years, this is the game you guys don't win. It's usually what's turned the corner?
Well, we're getting better. We're making some plays, and that's a credit to everybody, coaches and players alike. We're getting better, and with that comes a little bit more confidence, and with a little more confidence comes a little bit more plays like we made to win the game tonight. And can't say enough about everybody's effort, but got to enjoy it for a night, and then we got to go back to work. And can't forget that we're also the team that got embarrassed 2 weeks ago. So we understand what it takes. At least we ought to, and that's my job to make sure that we do.
Rick, can you kind of go through your feelings that last drive as it kind of lurched forward and backwards on you?
When they had the ball?
No,
or
your
our ball?
touchdown drive.
Well, it was we got the ball back. It was a great job by the defense after the fumbled kick to get them off the field without points. Unbelievable job. So I think there was 5 and change when we got the ball. So we wanted to be patient. We wanted to use as much as we could. Dennis did a smart thing there when we got the ball inside the 10, calling timeouts, because he knew that if we were successful, he needed time left on the clock. But I was trying to chew up as much as I could because I knew how explosive they were offensively. But when we went backwards with the offensive pass interference, which you know, I understand the call. It's a tough time to call that, but I understand the call. I'm not sure about the last interference call that we got, but I'll have to look at the film on that one. But you know, that puts you in a situation where you've got to make some plays down the field, and I thought Kevin really understood the situation when he back-shouldered Nelson. They were looking for a deep ball, but the guy came up and pressed, so he didn't have his eyes. And we talk about that all the time. And when you don't have your eyes, you can throw the ball anywhere. And Nelson kind of felt it and just made a huge play for us getting the first down. I mean, it was not only a long yardage situation. I think it was 3rd down when we made the play. So getting the first down, now we're back in balance. We can try to use as much clock, at least get rid of some timeouts. And I thought it was orchestrated really well. I'm disappointed in the 2-point play. We had a miscommunication. We can't have that happen, but I take responsibility for that. But ultimately, to get yourself in a position to win the game and go out there and get the crowd excited. It's been a while since our crowd's been like that and excited and watching an important game. That's what UCLA football is all about. That's how I remembered it, and I'm hopeful that we can continue along this path. But we can't if we lose sight of how we did it, and that's what I'm looking forward to focusing on.
What's it like having Coleman kind of as a closer, especially the last couple of games at the very end of the game?
Well, you know, Derek and Jonathan, we've got 2 good running backs right there. Jonathan had a great run called back on a holding call, and we got to look at, you know, why we're getting all these penalties. But it was, I mean, we had a Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside combination going tonight, and unfortunately both of them let the ball get away from them. You know, it's a hard-fought football game. Arizona State leads the country, or at least I think 4th in the country in turnover margin. They got the ball out 3 times, and we were fortunate on the 3rd when we got it back. But I take my hat off to all those kids. I think they play hard and they play well, and we're going to continue to ride them as long as we can.
Rick, 2 weeks ago, you guys were kind of left for dead, and people were kicking you out the door. You know, how were you able to turn the team around, and how vindicated do you feel right now?
Well, it's not about vindication. It's about, and I've said this, and I've been on record, so you can't say that I'm coming up with this for the first time. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy the guys I coach. I enjoy the staff that I coach with, and I want for nothing. All I want to do is go to work and fix what's broken. Obviously, a lot was broken on that Thursday night, and we've worked hard to get it corrected. And we're not perfect yet, but we're getting closer to being a good team, and we get to try again next week, and we're going to fight like mad to see if we can't put together another 4 quarters.
Rick, I think you guys only had 1 sack, but there seemed to be pretty good constant pressure on Osweiler. You look at his last year compared to this year.
Yeah, we got home a little bit more, and we'll keep trying to mix things up. You know, that's the key. That guys, you know, I've played quarterback. I know what it's like when you get comfortable. We did a nice job of keeping them from being comfortable. But, you know, Brock Osweiler is a fantastic quarterback, fantastic talent, and you know, he's going to make some money playing this game someday.
You know, kind of like what you were saying a little bit earlier, the low of the Arizona game compared to the high here. How low did you personally really get? Because you don't seem to have gotten that low even after that loss.
Well, I mean, in the coaching world, there's highs and there are lows. And the lows, unfortunately, are lower than the highs are high, because it's just devastating to put that many man-hours into something and fail. But you have to rally back from that. And that's what makes this game special, that you get to rally back. You know, if it were easy, everybody'd do it. I don't know how many times I've said that to myself. If it were easy, everybody'd do it. But you keep finding a way to believe that something good's going to happen. You keep working hard to make sure that everybody understands the fundamentals that are required to play the game successfully, and you keep coaching it. And you keep talking to the guys, and you keep a mantra of, it's about us. It's not about what's being said outside or whether or not anybody wants us or anything like that. It's about us. And for the next 3 weeks, it's still about us. And we're going to fight, scratch, and claw, focusing on 1 week at a time, this time Utah.
Coach, why don't you talk a little bit about the play of your quarterback?
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with Kevin. You know, Kevin Prince is a wonderful human being. I mean, everybody here would love their daughter to marry him. I mean, he's that kind of guy. But he went through a patch where he was on again, off again, and a lot of it because of injury. But his confidence wavered, especially you could see that in the Texas game. And Richard came off the bench and took us down the field 4 out of 5 drives, and so I made a change. And I had a talk with Kevin after that game, you know, kind of going back through my career about having been benched in favor of Steve Bono at the time. And you can feel sorry for yourself. It's very easy. Matter of fact, I did. I was guilty of it. And if you do, you won't be ready the next time it comes. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. And he flat took it to heart and was ready. Came in off the bench against Washington State and was not perfect, but valiant. And valiant again last week, 100 and some odd yards rushing. And tonight, I mean, he was our guy. And, you know, we're going to keep correcting things. There are things we can do better and he can do better. But as a leader and as a guy who understands how to manage games, he's getting closer to being our kind of guy.
Rick, why tonight were you guys able to overcome all those turnovers and mistakes, especially the ones late in the game? Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of belief, you know. You invest. I know the BTB, burn the boat, sounded corny. but that's where we are. We're on this island. There's no way off. And to sit there and point fingers and worry, oh, here we go again, that doesn't, there's plenty of time for that in the rubble of if it all turns to bad stuff. But right now is the time to bond and find a way to fight our way off this thing. And that's exactly what took place. And if there's not a better example than what's taken place here over the last 2 weeks, I don't know what is. And hopefully it's going to resonate with other team as we come back to work, because we have to do it again, because it'll be a raucous environment when we get to Utah next week. It's going to be
take everything we have. We'll have to play much better. We talked about turnovers. I'm disappointed that the turnovers happened because we needed to win the turnover battle and give ASU credit. They stripped the ball twice on us, 3 times on us, and fortunately we got the last one back.
Coach over here, what's the best way to describe the emotion in that locker room from your players when you walked in?
Well, young people, they enjoy it. I mean, old people enjoy it, and they break into dance. And so I break into it with them. And I'm embarrassed that I have very little rhythm, but the facts of the matter are it's just just to be around those kids makes you feel young again.
Coach. Coach, you have a couple things go against you on that last drive, a questionable PI call on Hester. Your defense is scratching for every yard, though, and you force them into a long field goal. Can you just take us through that moment?
Well, you know, I really want to look at the tape on the interference call, because when the ball was in the air, there was no chance for the receiver. Aaron had full position. I don't understand, but Aaron's got to be clean. I'm not saying that the call was bad. I just want to look at it. With the penalty on where the guy tried to throw the ball out of bounds, I guess they ruled he was down before he threw out of bounds. I'm just saying, well, if he's down before he throws it out of bounds, that ball, then it's unnecessary or unsportsmanlike conduct. You're throwing the ball away. You're supposed to give it to the official. But it's a hard job wearing those striped shirts, and so we'll wait and see what it looks like.
Rick, on that play, were you happy with the time situation? I mean, did you think there was more time should have come off? Or?
Well, there's a 10-second runoff rule in college football now. So, and Dennis was then going to use his timeout. You can get your 10 seconds back by using his timeout, but they would have been down to their last timeout. I mean, they would have been down to 0 timeouts, and that would have made it a little bit more difficult. And we could have played a little bit more sideline conscious, make them catch the ball in bounds, knowing that they have to hurry and so forth. But give them credit. They got themselves into field goal range, and we were just fortunate it didn't go through the pipes. Everybody good? All right, thank you.